Good morning. Good morning. I'm live. It says I'm live. Do I have the right screen on? Yes. Do I have a weird red spot right here? Yes. I'm not sure what's going on. Will it go away during the show? Well, we can watch. We can certainly watch. Is my microphone working? Yes. Did I hit record? Yes. Okay, we're in good shape. Do you remember back in the day, these things called VCRs, and you would record your favorite show when it aired, as if you didn't, you'd never see it again? We're so far removed from that world. I just wanted to say good morning. I wanted to talk about YouTube to start. I think, how do I put this? Do I think that YouTube has shenanigans going on? Yes. Do I think creators know that there's certain things you can do to do better on your videos? Yes. Do I do any of those things? No. Why not? I don't know. It always seems like if you want to accomplish something, you have to do it the right way. This is bad thinking on my part. This is thinking that arises out of the 1950s in America. People don't think that way now. Certainly, I mean, you get ahead by cheating as much as you need to get ahead, and your own ethics are, nothing. Don't even worry about your ethics or anyone else's. Just go and get it. Whatever you're going to go, whatever you're going to go after, go and do it. And it doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter who you crush. It doesn't matter anything as long as you go and get it. And so, I don't do that. I don't do that in my real estate business. I don't do that on YouTube. I don't do that anywhere. But it's a punishing thing because you're trying to play by rules, and there's no rule. They're your own rules. I mean, you've made them up on your own, and you've assigned some sort of ethical code to that. So one of the things on YouTube, I had what I thought was the best video idea ever yesterday, and that is telling everyone how I had streamed for 30 days in a row. This is number 31, by the way. 30, and what did I get from it? What was my benefit? So we talked about 5 subscribers. We talked about my impressions are actually going down over the time instead of going up. We talked about all these things. It's not a criticism to YouTube at all. It's just I'm on the platform, and this is what I'm seeing. That video's gotten 2 views, and I know that I've watched it once, so it's gotten 1 view in 24 hours. Now, should I feel disappointed by that? I mean, the feeling of disappointment was maybe a month or so ago after I just realized that if you spend every day trying to be at the top of YouTube, like, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be depressed. It's not going to go well. So no, I'm not any more disappointed than I normally am about it. I don't know all the tricks, but one of the tricks that must be being played is this thumbnail trick. And I'm putting it out there for anybody that knows more about it than I do, but something about, like, when you put out a video, you can change the thumbnail. And if you change the thumbnail, apparently it helps with your views or something like that, because YouTube capped the amount of times you can change your thumbnail to like 20 times after you release a video. Now, why in the world you would be sitting there changing your thumbnail, I have no idea. And why that would be the thing that works, I also have no idea. But apparently that's a thing. And I ran into it one time when I was doing a live stream. And when I finished the live stream, I wanted to change the thumbnail because the thumbnail was cut off. I had the wrong resolution thumbnail, so I wanted to change it. So I just wanted to do it once. And I got a warning from Google that said you can't change this for 24 hours. When I was a kid, there would be these video games. I played video games for the longest time, and there would be these cheat codes. And so whenever you got really bored, you would put in these cheat codes, and then the game would be it'd be too easy or something. It wouldn't be challenging. And then I'm just scratching this because it's weird looking on screen. Anyway, you'd put in these cheat codes, and then after that, the game was kind of boring. Do I think that YouTube is like, if I put in the cheat codes, if it'll be boring? I don't think so. my goal in this is to, to educate. My goal in this, and when I say educate, it's not the communist version of education. Just so we're clear. My goal is more just to, my goal is to educate, let people know about myself and Deerwood Realty. So anyway, the YouTube shenanigans, it's kind of got me a little bit upset because, like I said, if that video yesterday isn't going to bring any views, I'm doomed. I'm doomed because it's not even in my niche. It's like, if I were, I don't know, if I were a creator, especially new to the platform, I would want to know, hey, what gets me views? Well, I can tell you what doesn't get you views. Live streaming for 30 days in a row. No views. It's weird. Here's why it's weird. The kids in the house, they're not really, how do I put it? They're not like overly into tech or anything like that, but they'll have like if they do anything on a social media platform, they'll have 1,000 followers as soon as they turn on their phone. As soon as they join an app, they'll have 1,000 followers. If I join an app, like the chance of anybody even finding me is like none. And it's all about the kind of the world we live in. That's all they know is the collective anymore. To me, it's no way to live. Like, there were people in high school I didn't like. I don't feel bad that I never talked to them again, and I don't feel bad that I don't see them on Facebook. In college, there were people I didn't like. Do I really need to be their friend on Facebook? No. You say, well, just mute them. It's good. I don't know. I just not interested. And if you're someone like myself who's gone through major changes, major life changes, major career changes, sometimes you don't want to be. Combined. You don't want your past to keep reminding you of it when you've kind of left it behind. It's going to be kind of funny because we have a story coming up that might touch on some of those themes. But these kids, 2,000 and 3,000 followers when they're, in middle school, and then they're going to go on to do stupid things, and they're going to go on to do other things. And it's like, do they really need to be reminded about a kid in first grade that moved to Idaho? I don't know. Anyway, this is just me. So, I wanted to go over something that's in the news, at least on where I would watch news. Twitter. But it's something I learned a long time ago, and it's something that hasn't really ever changed. At least the theme, and that is be careful who you look up to. Famously, Charles Barkley, said he wasn't a role model. Don't look up to him. He's not a role model. And that ignited this huge, at the time, if we can't look up to athletes, who can we look up to? And then they said, well, you should look up to your family. Well, then what if your family's toxic or something like that? So it was an argument that never really got solved in the public square. It was a discussion that was never really a good end. But I'm reminded of that as I look on Twitter and look on the news about this fellow that apparently has had quite the life. And why I say be careful who you look up to. This individual did a fantastic job. I talked about this a few times. If you're like politically on the right or if you're politically on the left, okay, you have a built-in audience. Okay, there are certain themes, there are certain buttons you can press to gain entrance into the establishment on the left or the right. It's rather easy. What's kind of fun is I don't think everybody thinks that way. But you can use these buttons to get in. So for instance, like say you're on the right. Well, I need to be pro gun. Okay. Pro choice. Right now I need to be definitely not imperialistic in my worldview. We need to keep bringing our troops in and keeping them in the United States. So that's on the right. If I was on the left, it'd be the opposite of those things for the most part. But, you know, there's just these things you can get away with. If you want to build an audience, this is how you do it. You preach to the choir, essentially. And you make yourself a caricature of this movement. And it works. It works. I mean, think about it. Let's just say that the top guy that's doing this gets like 2 million Twitter followers. Well, if you had 500,000 Twitter followers, that'd be okay, wouldn't it? It's better than the 0 you have now. So we've got a fellow that appears to have entered into, I would say, the alt-right by pressing these buttons, and then being a total phony, and then being found out about it, and then his whole world is just collapsing around him. And why? Well, because he's in his real life, he does things differently than apparently what he espouses. I don't know if on the left you have that problem, or you have these people that just pretend that they're one of you, and then they use it for political gains, and then it turns out they're on the right. But on the right, it happens all the time. And I'm not on the right. I just watch it happen, and I think it's fascinating. So where was the clue that this was a grift? Well, the guy had these memberships about how to be a man. He's going to tell you how to be a man. And you pay him $100 a month, and now he'll help you be a man. To me, I mean, this is just me with my 53 followers. You know, what am I asking of you? Watch my show. Subscribe. I'm not asking for any money. I'm just, and I thought about it, you know, overnight. And would I ever charge money for you to be in a club so we could talk about real estate more? Like, all I do is talk about real estate. Would anybody pay for that? Well, yeah, if you did it a certain way. I'll show you how you do it in my industry. There's a couple ways. One, I'll teach you how to be an investor. Teach you how to invest in real estate, and you will pay me for that privilege. Okay? And what I'll do is I'll start a website, and it'll be like general information. Okay? But then if you pay the $30 a month or $50 a month, I'll get you into the membership group. In the membership group, we talk about secrets that we don't talk about during the regular information. That's how that works. So always be careful about investor classes in real estate. It's not that they're a scam. You can argue like, hey, I saved myself, you know, $1,000 by being part of this program after spending $1,000. So you're at zero. Can you get all the information about investing online? I don't know. The second way that you can make money in this same scheme in real estate is if you're a coach. So you say, hey, I'm a great real estate agent, and I'm going to show you my secrets. And all you have to do is pay $100 a month or more, and I will show you all the back tricks about being the best agent ever. And that one's kind of interesting. You say, well, are you a real estate agent yourself? The answer is no. No, I'm not. I was a real estate agent 30 years ago for like a year. And look, real estate coaching is big money. big money. So should I start my own real estate coaching? I don't think I know all the answers, to be honest. I mean, like, I know how to set up a course. Okay. I know how to say things that you think would work, but they don't. I mean, I watched one of my, I'd say friends, loosely, colleague in an office was getting coaching, and the broker was paying for the coaching for the team at the time. And it would always be every week. They dreaded the phone call, and this guy from California would call, because this was before we had like Zoom. And he'd say, okay, well, how many people in your SOI did you talk to this week? And the agent would be like, 4. And then the guy would say, well, what about your domestic? I don't know if that's offensive now. I don't mean it in an offensive way. What about your housekeeper? Did you talk to your housekeeper and tell them what a great real estate agent you are? What about your gardener? Did you talk to your gardener? No. Do you see the problem with that? We don't work in an area where we have gardeners or domestics or nannies. No one has any money for that. I mean, it's totally disconnected. But this guy's out there in California, and he's got all of his, everything's great. So in that case, you sell coaching. So we sell investments, we sell coaching. You say, well, I've never seen it done before. It's done all the time. If you've not seen how to flip houses as a class, you're an idiot. If that's a bad word now, I apologize. Again, I don't know. So, will John Shank of Deerwood Realty sell you a course? No, probably not. Should I? I don't know. Like, can you go to sleep at night if you're just ripping people up? Yes, we've seen it over and over. I don't believe my followers would be people that would be easily swayed by courses. I don't particularly want to teach a course. They are very powerful though. I have one person right now. This is another way. You could teach a course about listings, but actually have it be a backdoor to selling software. So there's this guy out of like Louisiana that was a real estate agent, and they write all these wonderful things. You're going to get 20 listings a month if you just follow this process. Now, 20 listings a month. The average real estate agent sells 10 homes a year. Okay. It's terrible. Believe me, I would have liked to sold 10 homes this year. It was a disaster. Absolute disaster. Anyway, they say, hey, we're going to show you this. What you need to do is you need to call expired listings. And to make it easier for you, you can use our software that costs $2,000 a year. So now we're using a course to sell software. I mean, if it works for those people, that's great. But anyway, this guy, he's selling how to be a man. How bad do you feel right now if you paid for his courses? Maybe you don't know what he's up to. I don't know. It was amazing. One of the reasons why I'm a little bit concerned about collaborating with people is because I don't know them, and I've watched it on, at least online, backfire a couple times. One, I don't know if you've ever seen Dave Rubin. He's like a comedian. Got a lot of followers, everything. He had a guy on one time that was just nuts. And that guy was also promoted by I would say the alt-right. And like when you watch the episode and he talks, and it's like just cringe. Things he was saying. It was just like, oh my God. This was another one of those moments. When you watch the guy talk and you're like, So they like, be careful who you put your faith in, because they will inevitably let you down. I mean, I'll offer that when I was in college, we had a guy I used to care about baseball, as you know, and Mark McGwire was traded to the Cardinals. And he went on to break Roger Maris's record. And people said he might be on the steroids. And I said, no. No, this is just talent. He's always been good. Yeah. And then he made $10 million a year or more. When he got caught, he's like, yeah, I did it. I'm sorry. And he went on and lived his life. He didn't take the money and send it back because he'd earned that money. And that's when you kind of knew. When you watch baseball now, like when you saw the Astros were cheating. Oh, we're going to fire the manager. Oh, we're going to fire, did they do anything with the players? No, they have a strong union. Didn't do anything. Are they going to change the record books? No. When the home run record got broken, did they do anything about it? No. You say, well, they're using different size balls or they're different weight. Maybe. But it's all just it's just once you see it, okay, the level of just papering over. I mean, you can look at that with the National Football League. You don't see references to the St. Louis Rams. It's as if we never existed. Don't see references to the St. Louis Cardinals in football. It's just how it is. There was a story in the local papers, or at least an editorial about, hey, we got 700 and some odd million as a settlement. 200 or 300 of that million of that's going to lawyers. What are we going to do with the other 500 million? Well, it turns out that's going to go to some group and they're going to distribute it. That ought to go well. The citizens of St. Louis and the region are not gonna get too much money. And you say, well, that's not true. Well, I just think it is. Just agree to disagree. So, am I stepping on sacred cows this morning? Anyway, I'm trying to present something that's not too slick polish. I'm trying to present something that is real, because I think we have a tough time knowing, when we're being hoodwinked and bamboozled. And the last thing I want to do is come across as one thing and then be totally the opposite. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it, but this is true in the referral business in real estate. If you're a celebrity, you can set up a referral network. There's some famous people that do it right now. And because you've somehow earned some sort of cachet, people will say, oh, because you know this, we'll check you out first when we go to buy our home or go to sell a home. And so there's at least two of them that I know about. There's another one, but I always forget it. There's these, they're referral networks, and they're branded by the star. And so what you do as an agent is you pay money to be on this list, and then if they ever get a lead that comes to like your part of town, you just pay monthly on those. It's not by transaction, I don't think. I'm going to look more into it, but it's a very murky world, and it's not one where I operate. My thing is, and this can be totally, wrong. Like for me, for my marketing, if I have to pay $5,000, let's say I have to pay $6,000 for this per month. Okay. That's one house. My average price on a commission is one house, $6,000. If I'm paying $6,000 for the joy of selling a house that I'm going to pay someone else, I will just keep the money and not do it. I don't want to pay $6,000. And you say, well, that's not a good return on your investment. Well, neither is paying $6,000 to make $6,000. I mean, I'm just not into it. Say, well, what if you could make $40,000 on your $6,000? Well, okay, that's nice. I'd like to prove that. Anyway, I don't like it. The referrals are just absolutely crock. I actually, one guy, I did sell his house, and the guy that he had originally gone with was a referred agent from one of these groups, and just that referral was golden as far as like the guy really believed all the stuff he was talking about. That, while we're here, that agent said that you have to sell your house now because the end is coming. We all know it. I remember reading the email. We all know the end is coming. You need to sell now. Well, what is that really about? That's about creating an incentive to sell. If you use time to your advantage in your marketing, so make something limited. This group that the men's group that this guy had, it was limited. It was completely a cult. He said you could only join in the first week of the month. The rest of the time, even if you wanted to order the $100 a month or more, no, I'm not going to take you as a member. You have to wait. Oh my God, we have to wait? Yes. Same thing with you better sell now because the market's going to go to hell. Oh. And it was during the time of coronavirus, so we don't really know what's going on. But this guy was convinced that the market's going to go down. I don't do any of that stuff. And you say, well, that's why you're where you're at. Touche. It hurts. It hurts, but maybe you're right. So I have a story for you today. I had a deal blow up at Christmas. That doesn't feel great. But I was talking to a friend of mine that was a lender, and he told me a story about another agent that had a Christmas blow up, and I wanted to share it with you. So I'm not good at telling stories. I need to get better, so I'm kind of practicing. But this was what related to me. So he's a lender. So he said, I got a call from a lady that said she wanted to buy a house. She needed a pre-approval. She was going to put $250,000 down, and the house price was $350,000. So just from what I know, most people don't put down that kind of money when they put in a mortgage application. They don't say, I'm going to put down all this money towards this house. They may say they'll put down 20%, but 250 out of 350 is way more than 20% and very unusual. That was the only red flag, though. And the lender said, well, okay. So we ran the numbers. They were fine. They were fine. But how are you going to get this money? Now, when you have a mortgage, a lot of people don't realize you have to be able to source where the income is to get the mortgage. So if you get a gift from your parents, it's okay, but you needed to say like this, I got this as a gift. And in the last month, I think they monitor, I know you have to send in your bank statement before you get a mortgage, and they will look at every single transaction and say, okay, what's this? What's this? What's this? Now you say, well, that seems excessive. It seems weird. It's not for me to decide. If you think I'm going to defend the idea that you get a mortgage based and you can pay it off in 30 years, when my life makes dramatic changes every 5 or so, I mean, whatever. Anyway, okay, so my grandma, who has the $250,000? Is it in your bank account? No. The let's just say the lender's client says. The applicant, no, my grandma has it. Okay. All right. So then, not that anybody's asking, what was the rationale for the grandma having the money? Well, it turns out that the woman had been divorced and she had hidden a bunch of money from her boyfriend or husband. And so this was hidden money in the divorce. So grandma has this money. She's sitting on $250,000. So the lender gives them a pre-approval. And all a pre-approval does is kind of say, hey, this person, we've gone through the records and they have the money and they can buy a house. And you say, well, all that means, well, I say all that because until a deal closes, you never know about anything. You never spend a commission check before you make the commission. I mean, Deals blow up all the time. So now this agent, I was not representing this woman. This buyer's agent is showing this woman properties. I don't know for how long, but I want to say for about maybe 2 months, which you wouldn't seem to think is a big deal if you're not in real estate, and it's okay. So she's showing that finally they find a house and they write a contract, offer accepted. With the accepted offer, you need to send over escrow funds, a check. Like, that's part of the contract. So the buyer has to write a check, or most of the time it's a check, with your offer, and it gets deposited within, in Missouri, 3 days of the accepted contract. So the buyer's agent says, congratulations, we got the house under contract. I need your escrow check. Buyer says, I don't have the escrow check. And then the buyer's agent says, who does? Grandma has the check, and she's in Illinois. Okay. So 3 days pass, escrow check's not deposited. Lady writes a check. Now, there's going through because of the timing, it's Christmas, so the inspection happens very, very quickly, the home inspection. So the lady's out there, the new buyer and the buyer's agent go out to see the inspection, or the home inspection. That check bounces. So we got a bounce check, we got a bounce escrow check. Okay, this is not looking good. Now all of a sudden the buyer disappears. So you're under contract to buy a house. You can't buy the house. You have no money because you just bounced the escrow check. When you bounce an escrow check, the lenders look upon that as not great. Do not bounce the escrow check. It causes problems. If you really are interested in getting a mortgage, that's not a good thing to do. Well, the agent gets ghosted. The lender gets ghosted. A couple days pass. And all of this happens now is the buyer's agent is working now for the buyer to just get out of the contract at this point without owing anything, without being sued. Finally, the buyer communicates with the agent that grandma is dead, which is terrible. But not only is grandma is dead, grandma was not doing well before she died, and she spent all the money. There's no money left. So the home inspector's out his money, or her money. The agent has lost 2 months of their time showing houses. All for what? Nothing. And you say, well, buyer's agents and real estate, it's too expensive. It's too expensive to list your house. A buyer's agent's out for 2 months. Look at showing houses. You could be at your kid's softball game. You could be working at a bank. You're showing houses. And now this person does this to you. And then you got to hear about how real estate agents make too much. It's written by people that honestly don't know what the hell they're talking about, are not part of the business, never been part of, maybe they've feel like they've been wronged in a home sale in the past, so that they're gonna break it out on everybody else. But it's just, that is perfect for Christmas. That is the exact way real estate agents live. So, and you won't see any stories about it except from me. No one's going to write that up. No one's going to say, feel sorry for real estate agents, because no one does. I still think we're better than Congress people as a whole. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to go over this Google Trends today. The top one was John Madden passing away. I hadn't seen John Madden a couple of years, maybe 10. He used to be on with Pat Summerall, who is also dead. And they were the number one broadcast crew for football. Whenever there was a big game, they would be the ones that did it. They also did the Thanksgiving games. But my understanding was that, he wasn't doing well a long time ago. So, okay. Also didn't like to fly. So he only did like the Monday night games or something. I don't remember exactly, or one Sunday game because he couldn't fly. He wouldn't fly. He would take a bus. Whatever. Anyway, so that's 5 million. I know about John Madden. Okay, we played Madden football when I was a kid on EA Sports. That was a big deal. So I don't need to learn about Madden, but what did catch my eye, one that only had 100,000 story, 100,000 views, but that's a lot for one day. Have you seen this? It says Lindsay Ellis, and I'm reading it, I don't know. Lindsay Ellis O'Malley's meaning as vlogger quits YouTube over Raya controversy. Okay, I don't know anything about this. It says YouTuber Lindsay Ellis has quit social media months after she was at the center of a Twitter controversy over her criticism of the film Raya and the Last Dragon. I don't know what this movie is. I don't know if it came out. I don't know anything about it. It says on March 26th of this year, the film critic and content creator ignited a frenzy among fans when she compared the Pixar movie to Avatar: The Last Airbender. Also, know nothing about that movie. But the timing is March 26th. She quit social media in December. She's a YouTuber here. She's a film critic and content creator here. Not watched her channel. I have no idea. Since then, the 36-year-old, who has 1.19 million subscribers on YouTube, has faced a lot of criticism for her take on the film, which saw her opinion being labeled as racist and expressing anti-Asian sentiment. Now, I don't know. I don't know. I will say that we had Jimmy the Greek when I was growing up, and he got in a lot of trouble for what he said. "36 years old, 1.19 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm 44 years old. I have 53 subscribers on YouTube. I would not say I'm a film critic. I would say I'm a content creator. Can I call myself a YouTuber at 53 subscribers? Dicey. I don't really get paid for this." It says, now as of December 28th, Ellis announced she will be quitting social media and published a lengthy post explaining her decision on the platform Patreon. Now, as I bring this to you, it's a Newsweek article. You have the link in the description, or you will. You can research this for yourself. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if the way the article written is slanted in some way that's not true. I don't know anything about this. This is what I'm seeing in Google search. I'm trying to learn about it. Not too much because, we don't need to go down the rabbit hole. But this is where I'm at. If you want to learn more about it, you should go study these things. I don't know, I don't like Patreon. Some of the things they've done in the past have been dicey. My social media, I also have 35 subscribers on Twitter. If people were to be mad at me on Twitter, I don't even have notifications on. I wouldn't even know it for probably 3 or 4 days. I wouldn't think. And if I did know about it, it's like, okay, now you're mad at me. I'm not in that spot. And like I've said in the past, I talk for an hour a day and then do a podcast. If I say something wrong, it's possible. It's certainly possible, but I don't know. I'm not in this type of culture. I don't want to read the quote that sees. So I don't understand the quote that makes it racist, so I don't want to deal with it, and I don't want to, I don't know. Anyway, moving on. The controversy led to Ellis deleting her Twitter account for a while, which led to more criticism from fans. And now this is the other thing that I'm confused about. If someone subscribes to you and hates you and watches you because they hate you and are waiting to jump on your bad opinion or bad take and delete you, is that a fan? See, it's not like I'm just going to go with sports metaphor. Like when I used to like the Rams and they were the worst team in the league, and I would root for them every week to beat anyone, and they were horrible, and I would watch it, and I would scream at the team at the television. I would scream at the television. I would scream at the announcers. I would scream at everyone, and I would, be miserable at the end of the game because they had lost. I was a fan. I was a fan of the team. So, but I didn't want to hate the Rams. They just made me hate them by their play, their ineptitude. Now, would someone follow you on Twitter or on YouTube because I've got a terrible show, people said. It's tough. I don't think, honestly, if you think people are coming at you, okay, and you're a fan, like you have to defend the person, I would think, because you're a fan. Like I defended the Rams against when they would play like the Titans or the 49ers. I hated the 49ers more than I hated the Rams. And so the 49ers weren't allowed to talk negatively about my Rams at the time because I knew what team we were on. We were on Rams. Anyway, criticism from fans. In April, around a month after the controversy ignited, Ellis posted a YouTube video titled Mask Off, in which she spoke about being canceled. In the video, Ellis said that in the controversial tweets, she was ascribed an intentionality that wasn't there. I'm okay with that. It says, you shouldn't tweet in the morning. You shouldn't tweet at all. Nobody should tweet. That very, very poorly worded frustration was what met with even more outrage. Now on December 28th, Ellis took to Twitter to share a Patreon post explaining her decision to quit YouTube and Twitter. Simply captioned, "Goodbye." Goodbye. Ellie titled her essay Walking Away from a Malus. The full post is available to read for Patreon subscribers, but at the same time, is she getting rid of Patreon? Newsweek has seen the post, and she discusses her difficult year following the Raya controversy and how she is exhausted by the barrage of criticism she faced online. Well, I can understand that. Like, think about it. I'm doing videos that no one's watching daily. I had that guy tell me that I was the worst YouTuber ever. That didn't feel good. I do get praise. I get a guy that likes me. There's one out there. Says nice things about my videos every once in a while, and I appreciate it. The weird thing about this is you are who you are. There are good parts about you and there are bad parts about you. Criticism it comes with the territory. If you want to be out there and you want to be out there, you should expect that you'll be criticized. It doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's right, but it's going to happen. Now with that other guy today, what he did was pretty nefarious. Even if he doesn't think so, to take on the flag of some movement and then profit off of it when deep down you've got some pretty interesting views, that's not really excusable. Is that cancelable? I don't know. I don't like the whole word of cancel culture because people take it, that means different things to different people. It's a great shield. It's a great way to market. Oh, I've been canceled by YouTube. Oh, that means you're really, really controversial and great. Anyway, It says, what does walking away from a male list means? It's based on a story about walking away and the perpetual misery and torture of a child. It follows the individuals who leave the perfect city when they learn the truth. It says, since its publication, the story has become a metaphor for people who feel they are leaving an unjust system behind them. In this case, Ellis is leaving social media behind her. Now, I don't know this woman. She's got 1.1 million subscribers. I don't know how many views she's gotten. Does she have enough money in like a retirement account that she can just quit? Should we be concerned about her financial welfare? I am. That's the thing that always frightens me is it's like if you have like 10 million in the bank and you get canceled, you still have your 10 million. You're not hurting. You're going to be okay. I mean, are you not able to make 10 more million that year? Right. But from where I'm sitting, I'm telling you, I'm not going to feel sorry for you if you have 10 million sitting in the bank. Now, if this person here is, she's mentally exhausted. I've been there. That's not a good place to be. She's quitting. I don't know if this was a passion of hers, YouTube. And social media. I don't know. I just know that I hope she has some other way to make money. Because if she comes back to YouTube, it's going to seem to me to be like a kind of a fraud. Like you said, you're leaving and now you're back. 1.16 million subscribers. I've got 53. Trying to figure out how that would go. I would like to have 1.1 million subscribers, and we could talk about real estate, and I could get guests because we'd be big enough that I could do that. Right now, nobody's reaching out to me to do collaborations, but like I said before, be careful what you wish for on those collaborations. Never know what's going to happen to a person. It might be a fake home flipper. Okay, that's that. I'd like to think I could keep going if some group was harassing me. I mean, we don't even know if these are bots harassing this woman. We don't know anything. We just know she's tired and doesn't want to play anymore. And I respect that decision. Hope she has some way to make money going forward. I wouldn't want to be a film critic in this day and age. I've said I can't stand the movies that come out. Now, my kids watched Spider-Man, and we talked about Spider-Man, and it was supposed to be good, the 9th one. But I think Matrix came out this weekend, and it was a flop. This is my film critic. I didn't even watch the movie. I've seen like Rotten Tomatoes will say this is a terrible movie, where other people say it's a great movie. I don't know. I've seen a lot of bad movies. Does that make me want to be a critic? I don't think I'm a critic of anything. Critique? I don't know. Let's go on to the next thing. Now, working for a large brokerage has its working for a large franchised brokerage has its privileges. Don't get me wrong. And we've talked about some of them. One, let's say you work at Redfin. Okay. Let's say you work for Realty. Okay. That's the one we're going to talk about today. These are huge brokerage franchises. You'll know more like is Better Homes and Gardens or Coldwell Banker or one of those. But anyway, there's all this, you pay money and you get all this research, and the research is used to market. Redfin makes reports, and then they advertise the reports, and it makes it look like they know a lot about real estate. And for you as an agent, when you can walk into a house and someone says, oh, I saw that report on Redfin. I can tell that you're tied into the community because of this report. That's a bonus. Better Homes and Gardens has done something that I think is brilliant. They have released a report in which they used only their members, only their agents, and then their agents get quotes. And so those agents can now, when they're competing with others, say, look, I was featured in this report. You should take me seriously. So, and I want you to see how I saw it. So I saw a little bit of news, okay? And it was this. It said, it was a press release. It says, Better Homes and Gardens emphasizes the importance of lifestyle and buyer mindset in latest industry report. So, okay, there's an industry report from Better Homes and Gardens emphasizing the importance of lifestyle and buyer mindset in the latest industry report. Well, so it's a research report? Is it a scholarly report? I don't know. It's a white paper? I don't know. But anyway, I'm here and I see it. I'm an agent and I have an opinion. And we'll just go over it. It says, the importance of lifestyle and buyer mindset. How can you possibly criticize that thought? It's not criticizable. Let's see if we can change it. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate emphasizes the importance of automobiles in buyer mindset in latest industry report. Importance of kitchens in buyer mindset. Lifestyle is unassailable. So already now I know that the report isn't going to be the report isn't going to be a scholarly report. Let's put it that way. So then it says, Madison, New Jersey, Better Homes and Gardens announced today its latest market trends report. Lifestyle leads the way for today's buyers. Well, what wouldn't? I mean, what else could lead the way? Price? Report examines how and why lifestyle is leading buyers' decision making when it comes to purchasing their next home. This is not new. This is not groundbreaking. This is propaganda. I'm not complaining. It's good. It's a very well done thing. That's why I'm trying to highlight it. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate affiliated brokerage leaders and agents across the country contributed to the report, providing a first-hand account of what today's buyers are prioritizing in their home search. So you go out, you go to every brokerage, you say, hey, send me something about what your buyers are looking for, and we're going to put a report out about it. This isn't hard. Got a press release. Deerwood Willetty can't do this. We're not in the competitive space to be able to do this. According to brokers and agents interviewed for the report, key observations included destination lifestyle markets are now more accessible than ever, thanks to the surge of Americans working from home. These markets are a reality for many working professionals, from the beach to the mountains to sought-after planned communities. The pandemic effects and intense market competition have redefined what a dream home could be. Buyers are prioritizing a lifestyle market and are willing to compromise on home features to live in their preferred location. Well, now this isn't news for us. We have that RIS article, 2 months ago. People are trying to live close to the mountains, or, that's not new. I mean, it's new by this report. It says limited inventory has not been a deterrent for buyers' intent to get in the market they desire. Many out-of-market buyers are leveraging equity when selling their home to make their next house their dream home. And you know what that means. Many professionals are pushing up their retirement move by a few years due to their ability to work from home until they are ready to retire, which also doesn't make any sense. It says we're going to retire someplace and still keep working. Now, I know somebody that's doing that right now, and I don't think it's new. I think it's part of the idea of working from home. But I've had my brokerage and I've worked from home since way before the pandemic. People are reevaluating the function and kitchens features of their houses with the increased amount of time spent at home, both inside and outdoors. Inside the home, kitchens are still king, but there's been more emphasis on outside living areas featuring kitchens as well. Well, we've talked about that as well. It's no longer enough to just have a nice inside. You have to have the outside landscaping to go with it. Now, adding kitchens, okay. There's times of the year I don't want to be outside in St. Louis. I don't want to be outside in St. Louis in July. I just sweat. It's miserable. And like right now, I think we're at like 44 degrees. It's cloudy. It's overcast. It's kind of wet. The air is kind of, there's like a mist. I don't want to be out there. I don't want to be out there. It's not enjoyable to me. So I wouldn't care about having an outdoor space. With the growing demand for lifestyle locations, agents need to become familiar with larger service areas beyond their core market to help match buyers with homes. Well, I'm one guy. I do have another agent, Jan. We work St. Louis City, St. Louis County, Jefferson County, St. Charles County. That's a lot. That's the majority of the population in St. Louis. So I don't really think that matters. Current market conditions are prime for vacation and second home purchases. When would they not be? But so that's that. So now you've got this, you've made up this report, you've got this setup, and then I've got the report. I want to pull it up for you. Go over it. This is going to be a little weird. If it switches on you and it freaks you out, I apologize. If I do it wrong. Oh, here. Now it's a little bit, see how it's a little bit the blue there? I'm sorry. But anyway, here's the report. So it's 34 pages. Okay. And what I wanted you to see, like the first couple pages are not really that key, but all of a sudden they talk about where people are moving. And it just happens that Better Homes and Gardens has an office in those places. And it says, as a company that's zeroed in on lifestyle like no other real estate brand, the Better Homes and Gardens real estate brand is uniquely positioned to showcase this important trend that is not only shaping our industry, but our society as a whole. Now, understand, like, I've never seen, since we do our luxury listings, I've never seen Better Homes and Gardens have one of the top 10 listings in any of these places we go. So they're not doing the luxury market very well yet. They've been around forever. But here we go. So now we get quotes from the agents in these places. Look, Boise, Idaho. Here's Jeff Martell. South Puget Sound. Here's Jessica. We're going to go with Paulos. Here's Prescott, Arizona. Destin, Florida. Boise, Idaho. Okay. Now we're getting quotes like, oh, look, here's Jeff Martell. Boise, Idaho. Here's Ventura, California. Here's Destin, Florida. See, we get the same people. And those people, maybe those people are already great producers for the organization. Maybe they're not. But they're being promoted as such. You know, as an agent, this they're doing something for you. Literally, your name is being put in the publication. Like if I lived in I want to go move to Destin. Now, if you know St. Louis, you know that we only go to Destin or Myrtle Beach for a holiday. That's the only two places we're allowed to go, apparently. And so Destin, oh, I want to go live in Destin. Say I want to move there forever. I'll call Rebecca Ward. Why? She's in this thing, and she's from Destin. This is so easy. And that's what this is. This is a great piece of marketing, okay? A great piece of marketing set up specifically to help the agents of the brokerage brand that they're espousing. So this is great. There are things where I can beat a franchise brokerage. I can beat them on a lot of things. Okay? I cannot beat them on marketing spend. If this costs $100,000 to put together, which I hope it didn't, they got me beat every single time. And I have to respect that they're able to do this. Okay? See, I mean, look, the idea, look, where is the Destin, Florida? Now I even know. I can learn about this woman, Rebecca Ward, in the end here. Rebecca is a Gulf Coast real estate expert specializing in residential luxury real estate, second homes, relocation, condominiums, and investment opportunities. To be honest with you, she's specializing in way too many things. She leveraged her degree in hospitality, resort, and tourism management to start a career in property management and real estate in 2005, providing extensive experience and knowledge in residential real estate sales, condominium association management, property management, event planning, condominium development, pre-sales, philanthropy, and detailed market research. I don't even know what that means, but okay. But anyway, this, if the brokerages want to play, this is how you play. You play in this space. You play with reports. Okay, everyone loves reports. You take your economist and you put them out there. You trot them out there every day. Write a new report. Hey, economist, tell me what something is in a certain area. And then use agents from that area in your report and market it. It's brilliant. It's well done. I can't do it. Deerwood Realty's in St. Louis, Missouri. We're not all over the planet. Probably shouldn't have hit that button. So now we got the blue screen. It's kind of embarrassing. Let me see if I can get a better there we go. Sorry about that. So I'm having a good time today. Things are just rolling. Because of that, let's not cut the show short. Let's do one more thing. We're not going to look at the real estate market, the luxury market in Indianapolis today. There's some nice houses we'll look at tomorrow. I just want to do one article I thought would be interesting for everyone. You know, I've talked a lot about realtor safety. I think reasonably so. Lately, I've been getting into the realtors might be criminals, some of them. And we had the serial killer was the first one. Now today, I'm going to bring you a story right here. You have it. Let me see if it's on there. Okay. Headline: Sydney real estate agent facing 2 additional charges over alleged samurai sword attack. Now, this is red meat for me. This is like, oh my God, real estate agent, samurai sword attack. I mean, tell me more. It says, Sydney real estate agent accused of trying to murder a woman with a samurai sword has had 2 additional charges laid over the incident. Now, I don't want anyone being murdered with a samurai sword. I don't know anything about, that's not good. Carl Howard allegedly attacked the woman and physically assaulted a second woman at his home in the early hours of February 2nd. I don't know where Annandale is, and I'm 44, and I'm not going to attack anybody with a samurai sword. It says the names of the women cannot be published after a magistrate said they were immensely traumatized by the incident. Well, I'd be traumatized too if someone tried to kill me with a samurai sword. Police allege the women were at this man's home for a gathering when he became paranoid after taking a cocktail of drugs, including Viagra, Valium, and cocaine. Now that is a party. Wild. This is not like you're 44 years old, do better. He allegedly skipped through the house thinking he was going to kill the first woman, then pushed her into a number of bar stools and hit her face with his elbow. If you're women and you're over here and this is going on, maybe you should get out. I don't want to be victim blaming, but this dude's got issues. It is alleged he gestured towards both women with a pair of scissors, then grabbed the second woman by the throat and punched her to the face after attempting to kiss her. See, this has gone a little bit weird. This is like a bad night. Mr. Howard briefly left the room, allegedly, returned with a samurai sword approximately 1.5 meters in length. Now, I don't know metrics, so this is not helping me, and swung it into the second woman. The first one fled, fearing her friend was going to die. By the way, this is one of those things. Let's just do this. The first woman fled, fearing her friend was going to die. Go, oh my God, my friend's going to die. I'm leaving. What would I do in that situation? Would I stay to help my friend? I don't know. Depends. If we're Facebook friends, no, I'm running. If we're family members, why are we in a cocaine and Viagra induced psychotic episode together? That doesn't make any sense. So this is a bad situation. The man allegedly continued to attack the severely injured woman with the sword after singing, "I'm going to kill you." This is not a good situation. The second woman managed to run for the property screaming for help. Now, so she's the one that had been attacked, but she somehow was able to run. She suffered from significant blood loss. This is Australia, I believe. Mr. Howard was arrested a short time later after he allegedly hid in a skip bin, where his blood-covered phone and wallet were later discovered, and attempted to hide in the tray of a ute. I don't know what a skip bin is, and how he tried to hide in the tray of a ute. I don't know what that means. He was charged with assault occasioning actual bodily harm, wounding with intent to murder, and unlawful entry on enclosed lands. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, for American English, this doesn't make any sense. What is an enclosed land? You know, I mean, so he's accused of causing grievous bodily harm with intent and recklessly causing grievously bodily harm in relation to the woman he allegedly tried to murder with the sword between 4:40 a.m. and 5:20 a.m. I mean, this is a mess. He has not entered a plea to the charges and not applied for bail. Said both women were taken to the hospital after the incident, one treated for bruising, swelling, and a concussion, and the other treated for a fractured cheekbone, a broken arm, and 15 to 20 centimeter laceration of one arm, which cut to the bone, nerve damage, and a deep laceration to the other wrist. Police allege the injuries to the second woman were inflicted when she put up her arms to protect herself from the sword. So, I mean, I'm gonna go to my base screen. So, are all real estate agents great people? No. Clearly, this guy's not a great person. If he did what he said, I mean, I don't, you know, it's alleged. I don't know if you have guilty until, or innocent until proven guilty in Australia like you do in the United States, but you guys all know how that works here. It depends on the situation as far as will the media try you before you ever get to court. And the court of public opinion is huge. Anyway, what would I say to that? Like, I don't want to equate this real estate agent with the guy we talked about in the beginning of our show, who has made a career and made a lot of money off of being something he's not. But I did read that Reddit post one time, and it's stuck with me, and it was all about how they were working with an agent, and they ended up buying a house. I think that's how it went. And then they checked online, and they saw the person had a Confederate flag in their front yard, and they were sickened. They felt like they didn't know the person that they were working with. We don't know. I mean, people are good at hiding things. We don't know about these things. We do know that this guy shouldn't be attacking people with a samurai sword at any point, like, unless there's like a home invasion. Just bizarre. So you're right. You really never know anybody. That's probably why you shouldn't elevate, people. They're just human. They make mistakes. Not apologizing for this guy. I don't have no sympathy for what happened. That's what I got. We got real estate agents attacking women with swords at 4:40 in the morning. We got a guy that was professed to be this great and wonderful person that turned out to not be a great and wonderful person. We got some really good marketing being done by Better Homes and Gardens, real estate brokerage, a division of Reality, which is either, if they're not the number one, they're the number two largest franchise brokerage in the United States. What else we got? We got, look, when you're a real estate agent, you work with people and you don't always get a deal done, and it's a waste of time. And this person knew that they didn't have the money the whole time, and they were just stringing along the agent, which is terrible. 31st consecutive live stream. Went about as well as could be expected. I've got so much more to do for tomorrow. Like, I almost don't have to do any show prep for tomorrow because I have so much from today. I don't know why that worked out that way. If you've made it this far, just know that I'm going to put out a podcast episode this afternoon. Yesterday's should have been the best. The podcast about how many consecutive days and what it did to my viewership. I mean, that should be required watching and listening for everyone on YouTube, but it's not likely to be picked up by anyone, to be honest. But, you know, if you're watching this on a replay, just thank you for watching. Put a comment in the comment section below. If you ever get a chance to chat with me on a morning, come on in. I would love my chat. Even if they said bad things about me, I would still love my chat because it would be just nice to have that chance. That's all I have for you today.